All right, hello and welcome everyone. So today, before this video, we have a sponsor, and that sponsor is The Ridge. So The Ridge is a wallet making company that makes their wallets out of full metal and elastic construction. And as someone who's been using these wallets for about 2.5 years, they are absolutely fantastic, and I would not go back to any other wallet I've ever used. And I've used pretty much everything: leather trifolds, bifolds, old janky wallets we all had as kids. I've used it all, and this is by far the best thing I've ever used. And the reason for that is because it just carries what you need and not what you don't. You don't need to carry around a million receipts. You don't need to carry expired gift cards. You don't need to carry a bunch of change. This has everything you need. It has two nice metal plates in the center surrounding all of your cards, and that has a cash strap to carry all your cash and receipts, or a money clip if you prefer that. And that's really all there is to it. You have easy access to all your cards that you're regularly using, because you can simply push on the ridge, if you will, to have a very easy access to all your cards by fanning them out and just grab what you need. These are super, super great wallets that I would really advise to anyone, and they come in a variety of styles. Not only the carbon fiber one, which I've been using for the longest time, but also this new forged carbon one, which looks quite nice, as well as this titanium one, which is probably my new favorite and one I'll be switching to. And, of course, because we play Warframe here, I had to grab the nice aluminum rose gold one, which is actually the cheapest of all these wallets that I'm showing here, and is a fantastic deal in my opinion. And speaking of a fantastic deal, you can go to ridge.com/Brozime and use the promo code Brozime for 10% off any of these wallets and help support the channel. Thanks so much to The Ridge for sponsoring this video, and let's just jump in. Okay, and with today's sponsor out of the way, let's get into this Why Would You Use? So today we are finally going to be talking about the Redeemer Prime. So the Redeemer Prime has a couple of ways you can use it. There is a heavy attack only build, and then a more combo focused build that hybrids into heavy attacks for massive damage. We're going to be talking about both today, but we're going to mainly be talking about the heavy attacks only build, as I find that this build is the one that I generally go to the Redeemer for. This is the reason I'm picking it up, because it is needed for a certain purpose, whether that be killing Kuva Liches, which this is very good at, which is one-shotting each portion of their health bar, or going to disruption and killing the targets that, need to die before they blow up your points. This weapon is extremely powerful for that stuff. And in addition to that, if you have like Railjack blowing up the cores, if you don't have a good weapon for that, this is amazing for that stuff. And just in general, this does a lot of damage. Before we move on to talking about the combo one, we are going to just show off the damage of this really quick, just to show kind of the level that it's at. It's worth noting the elementals on this are important because viral is so good. And we're just going to show some level 150 enemies and kill a few of them. You can get a feel for the damage of this weapon. So obviously, big health targets, they evaporate. Armored targets, however, if you don't headshot, take 2 shots. But if you do headshot, they take 1 shot. So these level 150 enemies don't stand too much of a chance unless I'm only scraping them with some of the pellets. If you hit any enemy with like the full brunt of this weapon, they're pretty much going to completely evaporate in short order. Very few things are going to survive this, and even fewer things are going to survive this if you're using any kind of a damage buff to buff up your damage. So this is the heavy attack only build. You're just heavy attacking for this build in particular. The combo build does something a little bit different. And while you're in this heavy attack build, you can still just fire normally, and most enemies like level 60 and below, I'm going to say, are going to die from that. If you want to use the actual main attacks of your stance and stuff at higher levels, you can go more with a build like this. So this uses focus energy, and you also need to be using Zeneric with the heavy attack efficiency thing, so that you can get to your cap on 90% melee combo efficiency, so that you use very little combo whenever you are heavy attacking. With that, this allows you to build up a ton of combo very fast, which is why, of course, we're using Drifting Contact to maintain that combo and get a huge amount of crit between Sacrificial Steel and Blood Rush. This will give you massive amounts of red crits. It will fire very quickly because of Berserker. And on the other upside, we have Amalgam Organ Shatter, giving us the cap on Wind Up for the Redeemer. You do not need Killing Blow for this, because Killing Blow is not going to increase your speed by anything further, as I will show real quick. Inserting Killing Blow, 0.2 to 0.2. There being no difference there means that you're going to get the fastest heavy attack regardless, which also is why we use regular Organ Shatter on this build, for anyone who was wondering. So yeah, this build basically just focuses on being able to actually use Bullet Dance, and if you want to use Bullet Dance, this is more what I would go for. There is, I will say, a consideration for simply completely foregoing heavy attacks with this build, and instead switching over to a viral heat variant of this build where you will use regular organ shatter, and then you'll have viral up here, and then you'll actually switch out drifting contact for the heat mod with status. If you want to go a more status heavy redeemer that focuses on tons of heat and viral procs, that's totally viable. But I tend to want to keep heavy attacks in my arsenal if I'm going to be using the redeemer at all, which is what I've chosen to do. But that is also a totally viable build to go kind of status hybrid redeemer as well. With that, we're going to show this off real quick at level 50 and then at level 100, but with invincibility on, because this Excal is maybe not tanky enough for level 100 enemies. And you're not going to be encountering that many level 100 enemies usually anyhow. Yeah, Bullet Dance is a very mobile stance, and you are, of course, always going to want to take care of Ancients first. Yeah, if you really want to use, like, a gun blade and actually use it for something other than, like, just only shoot, and you want, like, the fanciness that kind of goes with it, this is kind of what you're asking for. Like, this is where you want to be. And, like, on top of this, like, you still get the heavy attack, and, like, they still eliminate enemies in short order. I don't know how that enemy got up there. But you're just not needing to only do this motion here. Like, this isn't what you're just stuck with. You get the full range of these attacks if you want to use them, because they're not bad as long as you get used to the way that you need to start moving around. Because, admittedly, it's not exactly, like, super intuitive to have right-click and E start making you jump back this far, but, like, once you get into the rhythm of actually jumping back forward, it's actually quite nice. But yeah, that's like kind of the multiple ways to use the Redeemer Prime. It's an excellent weapon and an even better tool for a variety of cases. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you tomorrow.